Ambulance District Board of. Will you rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag. Thank you. Holly, can you do roll call, please?
Yes. Western Lane and Wlfea directors. Cindy Russell.
Here.
Linda Stent. Mike Webb.
Here.
Adam Holbrook. Vanessa Buss. SVFR and Wlfea directors. Tim Mendolia.
Here.
Jim Polisi.
Here.
David Carriello.
Here.
Lori Heppel.
Present.
Keith Stanton.
Here. So we do have a quorum for SVFR. We do not have a quorum for Western Lane Ambulance District or Wlfea, and we'll just keep that in mind for our business tonight. Public comment. Do we have any public comments? Anybody in the public would like to comment? Okay. We will go to swearing in some new firefighters. We have Michael Morton, Barry Brooks, Warren Ray, Carolyn Coleman, and that's it. You guys can come forward. That's fun. Are you gonna have this side? So raise your right hand and swear at me. I state your name. Solemnly swear to do my duty as a firefighter for Western Lane Fire Ambulance according to the best of my ability.
I swear to do my duty as a firefighter for Western Lane Fire Ambulance Authority to the best of my ability.
Serve my commanding officer with respect and loyalty.
Serve my commanding officers with respect and loyalty.
Serve the citizens of our community with compassion, courage, and integrity.
Serve the citizens of our community with compassion, courage, and integrity.
To represent my fire department and the community with honor and dignity, both on and off duty.
To represent my fire department and community with honor and dignity, both on and off duty.
And to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America, the state of Oregon, and the communities we protect.
And to uphold the laws and constitutions of the United States of America.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Right.
pick the person. Yes. You're there. Thank goodness. You haven't been in the old school uniform, it's all high top quality.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, could you take 2 seconds to introduce our guest here?
This is Brian Crogero. He is one of the inspectors who flagged this fire, and he's also the volunteer coordinator.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us tonight. Now, we have another presentation, Liz Cello and Jerry Brooks are here. We have Ali Garrett and Hope Taylor they're online, so they're joining us online. And we are recognizing the tremendous effort.
Haley, well,
Who's that?
Haley, who's also, she's on our team.
Oh, I was not given her name, but I will get a certificate for her, absolutely. So we're recognizing the tremendous effort that they've been doing for.
So I'd like to say a couple of words real quick, sorry, but we have done this car seat program. Ronnie got me started back in 19 something or another, but they've been doing a program for at least 12 years that I know of, or that I've been a part of it and licensed. And just this year, 2023 alone, we were able to provide 23 seat inspections for owner provided seats. We provided 15 seats on top of that, installed, educated, and corrected. And we've done 2 public events and 2 helmet giveaways. So we've done a total of 38 seat inspections just this year and 34 helmet giveaways. So Haley's been licensed now as a technician 2 years. She just recertified again. So she's part of our police department link. So if any of us aren't available, she's available. So we have a full network throughout town.
What does it take to become certified and then to recertify?
Worse than paramedic school. Yeah. It is, it's continuing, educations, we have to do checkups by other instructors have to come, and we have none on the West Coast.
It's like.
It was 3 months of online classes and then 2 days in person all day.
And then every 2 years you have to redo it, so what they've done, and with me being out here, last year and this year, Haley has picked up my slack immensely. And I just wish to thank her.
Oh, absolutely.
Completely for picking that up. Absolutely, thank you. So here you go.
Again, thank you very much.
There we go.
Congrats. Yeah, that'd be great. And now we have our third presentation. We want to recognize one of our employees for fantastic accomplishments.
The Oregon Fire Service Office Administrators is a professional networking and educational organization for office personnel serving the Oregon Fire Service. This organization was created in 1992 and has evolved from informal networking to formation of a statewide configuration. OFSOA has created 4 levels of accreditation to demonstrate professional knowledge and achievement. This program is not mandatory, but it is an optional program for members' self-improvement. The program is structured but flexible and gives value and direction to member training. To apply for accreditation, members must have 2 active years in OFSOA and be in good standing. At least 75% of courses must be fire service related, and up to 25% can be through college, seminars, or other training. Each level of accreditation includes 52 hours of education training and includes hours in the following categories: office management, communications, finance, operations, interpersonal dynamics, service, presentation, special projects, strategic planning, and leadership. Accreditation awards consist of a certificate when they earn level 1, a plaque when they have received levels 2 and 3, and a crystal quill and ink award when level 4 is achieved. 3 weeks ago, I attended the OFSOA annual conference in Hood River, and had the honor of seeing our new office manager, Trish Letkin, receive her level 4 accreditation with over 208 hours of education and training. Please join me in congratulating Trish Letkin on earning the Oregon Fire Service Office Administrators Level 4 Accreditation Award.
I'm scared of it. Nice the genie jumped out of it.
Thank you. Thank you. So I just want to take like a 5-minute break. If you want to take pictures with everybody or however you want to do it, you're all welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but just take 5 minutes and you guys can decide and take a picture.
Wait.
Okay, one second. Sorry, guys. Okay, one second, we got one more presentation that I forgot. So. They were supposed to remind me and they didn't remind me. So, as you know, we have a new office manager. That means we're saying goodbye to our old office manager. So Dina's last official full-time day is November 1st. She's gonna return as my executive assistant. I think that's what we're calling her, part-time, like 1 day a week after that. But we did want to recognize her at our last, or her last board meeting. And present her with this plaque in recognition of her service to the citizens and staff of Western Lane Fire and EMS Authority, Dina McClure, 2018 to 2023.
I already.
Now you can take a break, sorry.
Yeah.
It's not as big as that.
I know. I but I think I put in 4 hours.
Accreditation system.
That's
Take a hit.
Oh, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of. Great. Oh. Yeah.
Except for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Well, yeah.
I got it.
Let's look at it. Yeah. Let's look at it, make sure you.
What do they charge now?
All right. Okay.
And it's every other.
Yeah.
No, they're not. You know, it's kind of really. Yeah, I think wrong with 500.
Yeah, one thing, whatever it was doing, one station.
They got a portable. They got a generator, plug in your house. They were going to. Refrigerator. You,
I'm scared to death of the dog.
They don't want to. I just want to know what they're gonna do with.
Now you're talking my language. Is it heavy? Yeah.
And batteries. They have to change the grid.
You went.
Electric vehicles here. All right. Yes, but I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll definitely.
You're gonna miss the beginning of the meeting. You're bringing up the share.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're talking my language. Just cause it was like for me. We chat.
Okay, we're gonna restart. Yeah. We'll wait for her. I didn't need to call us back.
Push it under the vehicle. Yeah. More than you also said. Yeah.
Do we even want to do that?
That's it. See.
Just the FD.
Yeah, that's
Just like him.
Here's.
The first time that we've been on the board, we're reading the form.
Hit it with air.
That's unusual for you guys.
Drives this pure. It's anyway, circumstances. That's supposed to be.
But first time get yours.
That's good, you're gonna make it their fault. Yeah.
There he is. Moving on the agenda. Looking for our consent agenda, which consists of the meeting minutes of the regular meeting on September 28th. Staff reports and correspondence. Would anybody like anything taken out of the consent agenda for discussion? Hearing none, the consent agenda is approved. All volumes are in your board report. Chief House is downstairs. He's got a fire defense board meeting. I can try and answer some questions. He will be here as soon as his meeting is over. I do not know how long that meeting will be, but if you have questions, you can give them now, or you can email Matt later or ask him later on tonight. Monthly financial, Trish? Yep.
Okay, so, we're about a quarter way into the fiscal year, which is about 25% on your reports. Everything is looking good. We're watching the, overtime. It looks high, but it's not surprising, because we're just exiting our busy season. We would expect property taxes in the next couple of weeks. We just completed the audit. We're now starting to receive the drafts of those audits. It was good. There were a few minor things that we still need to work on, and we'll, and you'll start to see those, especially those individuals that are check signers. You're currently starting to see those now. One of the things that we did with our AP is we have a new process that will address some of the oversight issues that we saw in the audit. And so you'll see some more internal controls in that area. And then we also want to look at changing how tax money comes in. We're looking to change it so that the money goes directly into the LGIP account instead of the checking account, because the interest is currently at 5%. And which is a lot better than the 0.01 that we're currently getting in the checking. That's all I have. Do you have questions?
Questions? Trish? So old business, you had the opportunity to review duty chief and lieutenant job descriptions. And then policies, 102 chief executive officer and 109 chief performance appraisal. Are there any questions or comments on those policies and job descriptions? Under new business, you've been given job descriptions for firefighter paramedic and single role paramedic, as well as policies, 108 Americans with Disability Act and 110 Civil Service Commission. So get a chance to read those this next month and bring your questions and or comments to the next board meeting. And we are going to, without quorums, we are going to skip new business item C and go to item D, new business item D. Tina.
So this resolution is in your board packet, and the description is kind of self-explanatory, but I was contacted by our insurance agent who works with special districts underwriting, and the fact that our current fiscal year budget did not have any expenditures or appropriations in materials and services because all the money is being transferred from Wlfea Fire and Western Lane Ambulance to Wlfea, that they were unable to provide a quote because from what they described, the districts have to pay for property and casualty insurance. Wlfea cannot pay for Sayula Valley and Western Lane Ambulance's property and casualty insurance. So this resolution is moving money out of the transfer just into materials and services, so we have an appropriations for the fee to pay for that property and casualty insurance. So it's moving 43,000 out into fire operations and out of the transfers to Wlfea. So Wlfea won't be paying for it, Sayula Valley will be paying for it. By doing that, I can send in the proper paperwork and they can insert that into their spreadsheets and give us a quote for our property and casualty insurance, which will be effective January 1. So with that, if there is there a motion and a second, and then there can be discussion?
Make a motion.
I'll second that.
Is there any discussion? Do you want to do a roll call vote?
Well, so this is the motion to approve resolution number 2023-05, a resolution adjusting the budget for fiscal year 2023-24 by adopting a supplemental budget for Sayula Valley Fire Rescue. Okay. So this was a discussion.
No discussion.
Okay. Holly, can you do a roll call vote?
Yes. Directors Tim Mandolia,
Yes.
Jim Polisi,
Yes.
David Carrillo,
Yes.
Lori Heppel,
Yes.
and Keith Stanton.
Yes.
Yeah, your motion passes 5-0.
So the next resolution is almost a mirror of the Sayula Valley. It's also adopting a supplemental budget. Special districts underwriting was not as anxious to get this passed because we did have appropriations for our life med expenditures in our budget documents. So they can move forward and quote Western Lane Ambulance for insurance, having those life med funds appropriated. However, this resolution, which will be tabled to next month, hoping there's a quorum, that will allow that money, so we don't go over budget, because we're still gonna spend those life med funds, and we still need the money transferred, but this resolution was not as time sensitive as the previous resolution, so, thank you.
Moving on to the next item is for Wlfea, fire suppression agreement with David Myers at 9949 Big Creek Road. And I had a map. I had several maps. Yeah, this is the only one that. So Mr. Myers he's outside our fire district right now. And it's not a great map, but he is up on Big Creek Road, which is north of our district, past Station 6, we're calling Station 6 now, the up north side of River Road. And what he is trying to do is develop a property up there. It's about 10 acres, 9 acres, 10 acres. And to get permission to do that with the county, he has to either be in a fire district or have a contract with a fire district to provide fire suppression. And the reason he wants to do that is if he's not in a fire district, he has to provide 200 feet of defensible space. If he's in a fire district, it cuts down to 130 feet. And that 200, if he's not in a district, that 200 feet infringes on the creek there, the waterway, as well as his neighbor's property where he wants to build. Yeah. So he approached us, and the county encouraged him to approach us that he should be in our district. And I did look up the Land County Code that is specified in there, and so it's a request that that makes sense, for him, for us. Well, it's up to the board to decide. We do have some agreements in place now for some properties just outside of our districts. And what we have done with them is we bill them annually for the amount they would pay if they were in our district. So to say, we take the same property tax value and apply that to their assessed value. And this property currently has an assessed value of about $9,000. So if he were to come into our district right now, we get about $30 for the year, which is not a lot. But if he built on the property, then yeah, we would get more if we applied that number to the contract. If we did it, we could propose any amount for him to pay to have fire suppression services. He is within our ambulance service area of that previous map, so we would respond with an ambulance to that site. I still have to approve the driveway. There is a bridge, a small bridge there. I don't know if that would pass our driveway inspection. But the road up there is completely paved. It's a nice drive, beautiful area. But that is something that I think it's up for Wlfea. So questions about that? Yes, sir.
Question, what's our response time from station one to there?
It is. And I had a map showing.
The reason why I'm saying station one, because it's staff. This would go out for staff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it is, Google Maps is showing it's 21.5 miles, about 38 minutes.
Oh, boy. That's
Yeah.
just, and that's in a car, not a fire apparatus.
Right. And our ASA requires 45 minutes or less.
And then does this gentleman have on-site water supply?
Creek, I assume you've got a well, I don't know.
But holding tank for suppression? I mean, what water is available?
I have no idea what he has to do. He says there's an old manufactured home on there. Jerry Ward and I did go up there and just drove by the property. We didn't have permission to enter the property, but it looked like there was some kind of structure back on the property. We can ask them to hire a sprinkler system, automatic sprinkler system.
Before, this is just me speaking, my opinion. If we did agree to have him be annexed into the district, I would strongly recommend to the fire chief that this gentleman's sprinkler is structured. A 13D fire sprinkler system, due to our extended response time. I mean, and I think his insurance company would definitely enjoy that.
Right. And I'm not sure why the assessed value is so low.
That seems a little odd.
It's up to land that can't be developed.
It has some structured on it. Yeah, real market value is like 126.
Yeah, a lot, I think.
Yeah.
They've got
Yeah.
almost.
And this is forest area, so that's why he needs the special permission from Lane County.
Yeah.
Does he order the area now, or is he, how far out of your ASA is he?
It looks like we go up to that, you see that little jog to the right there?
Can you point with the cursor on your screen?
Maybe,
So that's about Pond Trail.
right there.
Okay.
We have some isolated properties all along here to about right there. So it's a distance from our property.
That's the campground or this first camp.
This first camp, yeah,
What's the intended use of the property?
residential.
There's structures on it, but
There is, but I don't know if that's represented in the assessed value or what kind of structure. Like I said, we didn't enter the property. I can certainly go and get more details from her.
There's a few homes up there that don't have any power, and they live basically off the grid up there.
I just drove something up there a long time ago and dropped it.
Even though there's a main Bonneville line right behind it, they don't have.
So this would be one of the newest structures built up there. past few years, if not longer.
We have, yes, for the last 2 years, I haven't approved anything up there in that area, but did one 2 weeks ago. Farther south than that, well, you see that Aloha Aussies,
Yeah,
that was just right by that.
and the county's ordinance stated in there that if not approved, that whoever built, I think it said, it gave him some alternatives, correct?
Yeah, fire sprinkler system, water supply,
Yeah,
at least 4,000 gallons. Road access to the water supply, and 100-foot wide primary safety zone and 100-foot wide secondary zone. That's what he doesn't want to do, the 200 feet.
Doesn't sound like he can if it goes onto the neighbor's property, right?
So
It doesn't sound like he can if it goes onto the neighbor's property.
I think he would have, it's 10 acres, so he would have to move his land development. And it's both sides of the road. I think most of it is actually south side of the south side of the road. But it looks like the developed part, or what he wants would be on the north side of the road, which is probably a couple acres.
Well,
But this is something that the board would not against, I mean, we get more information.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, I agree, but so the county says that he's gotta have 200-foot clearance
yeah.
from the furthest occupied structure, or is
From
it,
the
are they
structure.
measuring from the center outward?
From the wall to the structure, he needs 100 feet, and it can be 2-foot shrubs only. Any trees have to be, crowns have to be 15 feet.
Yeah, everything has to be limbed up and,
Right, less stringent the second 100 feet.
okay.
so if you send your engine crew up there for a fire, what do you have as far as resources in the community to take care of the majority of the community versus an outlier?
Well, yeah, we would send everything we have for a fire. And that's normal, but and we bring up mutual aid to cover the community. With our typical response, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, if we send our crew out 30 minutes, multiple calls go off. We've now dedicated a lot of resources for $30 or the value of 9,000. To me, it just like the math piece of it. I want to help everybody, but
The alternative, we could charge them for actual costs of fire suppression if there was a fire.
I believe he should explore other options. And I truly believe that he'll find better benefit by putting in an automatic fire sprinkler system.
And then that would be up to the county to decide that they need 100 feet.
And that's what the county should be.
Yeah.
Because Director Heppel's correct, they're draining our resources. For the primary function here, we have a higher assessed valuation of our downtown than our commercial, which this community thrives upon is tourism and restaurants and everything.
I would suggest that he value or base our contract or any contract based upon the as expected finished value of the property. So if it appraises or it has an appraisal that's completed for $700,000. And we base ours on what we would tax for that.
We could find that.
And will the county allow us to give him a condition of approval that he has to meet certain things of the fire district?
I believe so.
And they'll build that into his actual conditions of approval for his building permit.
They will not issue a building permit unless I say access is a.
Right, but it will be in writing and attached to that permit.
Yeah,
What the conditions of approval are
we could do that.
from Cybersville Valley, Wlfea.
Yep. Absolutely. So it looks, we would like more information.
yeah, is the bridge structurally sound?
Right, that's all my.
You know, just,
I've got the tax map. Peter, if I could, I don't know how to pull it up on the screen here.
Are you on Zoom or?
I have, well, I'm not gone into Zoom here. Join, it's a meeting ID.
well,
I can bring it in.
there would be audio.
Lake County, or you just, the tax map?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can do that.
It shows that the 10 acres, there's several lots along that road. And the road goes right through the half of it. There it is. Yeah. Talking about lot 802.
Partial to the north is where we saw some developments, and there was Big Creek, I believe it's Big Creek, goes just right by the road there, goes to the north side, and there's a little bridge.
What's this topography, chief?
It's fairly flat down here, this goes up quite a ways. It was
And on which
continuous.
side of the road does he choose to have his primary residence?
I believe it's gonna be the north side, but that's where it looked like there were some structures now, but I don't know that for a fact.
The other side's up a hill.
Go pretty,
Yeah,
pretty good incline. So is it buildable across
The lower side, well, theoretically, but it's the zoning and it goes back.
Thank you.
Zoning power.
this is for that too, for it. And if you look at the,
So everybody up there's on a well or holding tank?
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so.
Not good.
So there's his real market value right now, undeveloped, like 26,000. Maximum set value is like $9,100 right now. Which is typically what we, or your property tax and stuff, but. I believe if he builds a structure, then it would go all the way up, right? Mike?
I'll adjust it a little bit, but yeah, they go on. I think the market value would start at what they assess it at,
Right.
which would be
Much higher,
the cost value. So if you're assuming with the contract, we could write it as we wanted to, and you could say $1,500 a year or whatever.
Right.
Conservative.
Yeah, that would be probably ballpark of what most people want that. But yeah, we, Bridge and, maybe he can supply a plot plan, what he's gonna be doing.
Do you have a satellite image of that? That would show.
We can look at layers.
Yeah, the layers. Get your tab with top.
Chief, I would ask him to research putting in an automatic sprinkler system. Have him explore
Oh, that was it, you had. Your layers.
There are no
Scroll down. There you go, click on air photos and images, drop that, always left, when you see the arrow, click on that arrow, keep going, left. Right there, click on that. Scroll down. Click on 2023. There you go, and that one should pop up. Sometimes it takes a second. You try one of the ones too. Sometimes they don't update all the time. Couple. It might be under that layer you're on too.
No, I know I can do it on Google.
Oh, yeah.
This is pretty, looks like a pretty Or,
There's a structure right there.
I don't know if that actually might be it.
So basically, he doesn't want to cut any of that vegetation back. For the 200 feet.
And he would have to move back 200, I mean, from the river.
Right.
The more first side of the river.
But we can certainly get more info on what he wants to do.
Yeah, site plan would be good.
Would it also be possible to require them to do some of the other mitigating options by the county? We have to do everything there, except you don't have to be 200 feet.
Right, absolutely. I think we can, the county could overrule us, but I don't see them doing that. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's why people don't understand the importance of their level. Yeah, residential sprinklers.
Get more information.
More info, okay, we will do that.
I'm kind of bored with director couple over there, because I'm kind of more concerned about if something happens here, our response time, you're looking at an hour minimum. If you go there, it's say it's a false alarm. So now the people, our main responsibility is out. I want everybody to have protection too. I'm on the same exact page. I want everybody to be protected, but and I know you said that mutual aid or automatic aid, hopefully they'll show up.
But if you don't respond in an area like that, we probably would, an upper Northford call if ODS wasn't available with the forest fire anyway, for the whole place.
Yeah, I'm worried about more, yeah, ODF would definitely be during fire season, they're not staffed, year round. So this guy or anybody, a lot of vegetation fires actually start within the structure and spread to the wildland.
Yeah.
By the time if this homeowner, God forbid, nobody wants to have it, but just had a simple kitchen fire. That could have easily have been knocked down with a, 8 gallon per minute sprinkler head.
Do we have city staffing at Northford Station? So no response out of that?
That one, we don't, yeah, no, with that.
That would be great though. I mean,
That's
that would be
about-
a good spot.
It's about 4 miles outside our district right now, so we're going out there quite a ways now.
So, and you're gonna have to help me, I kind of know where the area is. What would be the next closest fire district
Mapleton.
agency? Huh?
Mapleton.
Mapleton.
There's slower response time though, because they've had to come over the hill.
That's
They
what-
are,
That way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I don't know how, so there's, the property is right here, or somewhere in here. And there's Mapleton, they would have to come up, they'd have to come by our station 6. They would not be a good choice, but I'm sure they would take it fine. Yeah, Yahats is way up. in the north.
Yeah. Well, let's face it, we want agencies to backfill us. That meet our standards. And there isn't any. Yahats is partially paid, correct?
Just their ambulance.
Just their suppression is not. They,
Yeah, they have, and they have a couple volunteers.
guard,
Bridgeport, Martin.
right, reach for.
It's volunteer. Yeah, our closest career mutual aid would be Lane Fire.
Lane Fire Program.
Yeah,
If we sign an agreement, so you might have just-
and they would come, that's just.
Sure, it's just a model, yeah.
He just wants to-
Gloria.
Yeah, I know.
Well, he's got some options for their county road. Probably explore those.
Also, it's not an absolute like no go, he just needs to move his stuff in order or to cut back a little more. And I don't think that expense should be put to the community. I think that we need to look at where our resources are best needed.
Right.
So,
The other thing to think about, if he had a fire, he was not our district and had a fire, we would be toned for that fire. We would be notified and ask to respond.
And then who
Because there's no
reimbursed us?
What's that?
Who reimbursed us for our services,
We could charge it.
which I believe we would do, correct?
That would be up to the board.
With the tax,
We have not done that in the past.
but should the taxpayers be setting precedent by providing protection outside of our district where our taxpayers are paying? I understand helping, believe me, I do. But I truly believe that if the taxpayers in the district are paying for it, it's for us.
It is within Western Lines District though.
What's that?
It is within Western Lines.
Ambulance, yeah, we were.
Yeah, ambulance, I agree.
Well, maybe,
Yes.
I think we should charge for if we respond out of district and it's not a mutual aid. Well, we could do that in this case.
It could be, like I said, it's a two-way street. If he wants our services, he needs to come in with the conditions of approval and put in an automatic sprinkler system. Help us. Because I guarantee you, by the time we got there, if he had a structure fire, a single room and content fire, his place would be to the ground. By the time we got there. And a residential sprinkler system is gonna knock that thing down and keep it in its incipient phase.
Sure.
And all we're gonna really need to do is help him with a water back and air out the structure.
If it's still standing.
Well, if it's sprinkler,
Yeah.
I guarantee you,
Yeah.
it'll still be standing.
No, I agree. Okay. I think we'll get more info and then we can discuss it again. There we go. Okay. Lori, you wanted board member training.
Yeah, since we do have new board members and all of us can get brushed up on stuff. I've kind of done a lot of my own research and I realized that we have three main goals and objectives. That is hiring and firing a chief, the budget, and setting up the direction for the organization, and that can mean a lot of different things. So recently in the paper, Columbia Fire has been under some heat, and that's up in the St. Helens area, and there's been some stuff at the board, and I feel like this is a good opportunity to take advantage of training and kind of set our direction and make sure that we are following the rules and we stay within the rules. Because there is detrimental things that can occur if we don't stick to what we've been elected for. So I am asking the chief to go ahead and get a hold of SDAO, Jeff Griffin, and ask him if he'd be willing to come in or have one of his experts come in and educate us as a board together. The beneficial things on this is some of the things I know we could do is I would love to see also a survey set up to see what direction we would like to go as a board. So some of the things that are important to me may not be to other directors. So maybe to do some kind of survey monkey that would go over what we feel is a priority for our community and for our fire district in Western Lee. So I just want to avoid putting the district in a bad position. Some things are called the domino effect. And so just because one thing comes up means that it affects a lot of other things. And so I want to make sure that we stay insured and we promote bond measures and we're protecting the employees and uphold and protect our community. And the only way that that is going to get achieved is if we are a well-educated board. And so that is the direction I would like to move. But I would also like to hear other directors' positions and open this up for discussion.
We have had Jeff in the past, a couple of years ago, let me make your remember.
No, I think it's a good idea. It's always good to refresh and retarget. SDO is good. You say experts, I think Dunkel, and it scares me. I've not judged for one thing,
Yeah,
but, it. Just put it in a nutshell, what we're legally allowed to do as a district is a good thing. There were some comments about the school district going out for the bond, and the district board hasn't done anything to promote the bond. And so people are asking, could the board do that, or should the board be doing that? And the board can't do that as a board to promote that, but they can create a PAC, and the PAC can go out and do that. So there's ways that they can do it legally, and ways that they can't do it legally. So this kind of stuff is really good. Saves a lot of heartache down the road.
100% for that. It's a great idea. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely, I'm sure you'd be more than one.
And I've read about the Columbia mess, and it's a mess.
yeah, I just, I wanna be proactive and I wanna make sure that this district is being well run. And it takes all of us together to work together. So I would like to, move forward with it.
I say it's a go.
Maybe we can get.
Yeah,
Consensus.
look for their account or director's account points.
We'll see, would you like this as a retreat, separate from a board meeting, or prior to a board meeting, or as part of the board meeting?
Honestly, I would like to see this as a retreat. I think that, you can conduct normal work and we can continue to move our district forward with our board meetings, but I think that it should be done in addition. So,
Sure.
I agree.
nothing
I think
fancy,
the-
but
We'll see what the availability is.
awesome.
I'm sure more than happy for it. Okay. Director comments.
I've got one.
Go ahead.
Okay. I've been encountering some difficulty in getting items on the meeting agenda. This is a very fundamental thing. In many of the private, all the private boards, during new business, any director can bring forth any item, even though it's not been announced. However, this is a public board, and therefore, to be transparent and open to the public, it's necessary to notify the public of anything that might be coming up. So the process would be to notify, in this case, the board president, and have it placed on the agenda, anything that the director would want. However, my experience recently has been that items I have requested have not gone on. I went ahead and looked up the district policy manual. And policy 101.2.6 parentheses I states that board directors will forward business items to either the board president or the fire and EMS chief for inclusion in the board of directors meeting agenda. Well, my first attempt, where there were several emails, and about 3 weeks passed, and nothing happened. Policy 101.2.6K states that the board acknowledges that policy decisions require board action. When such questions arise, the topic should be forwarded to the board president and or fire and EMS chief for inclusion in the board of directors meeting agenda. On my second attempt, once again, several emails, no response. It took over 3 weeks, although I was pleasantly surprised that it showed up on the agenda. However, it was not really embellished. It only said, there will be a meeting. So what I'm looking at here is I think it is necessary that we codify a procedure in which a director can go ahead and have an item placed on the agenda and also be given proper and timely notice that it has been placed on the agenda. I'm sure that if there's something which is inappropriate, that the board president will talk with that director and convince otherwise. And there are plenty of policies that restrict make sure that this, whatever is on there is going to be relevant to the activity of that district. So for the director's comments, I'm requesting that perhaps we have this discussion and form a specific policy in writing, and that be placed on the agenda for next month, discussion and basically drafting of the policy.
Policy to state that.
The procedure to make sure that items that a director feels should be on the agenda are forth, the wording for it, and the time of response for being in that direction. It's gonna be open, it's gonna be open for discussion.
Sure, isn't it already in?
No, it's not.
It
I looked
says,
it up and it is not really stated as such. It is stated strictly as an optional. And for such a small board here, then it shouldn't have to go to that. It should be something which can be swept away. My first attempt yielded nothing. Second attempt yielded a single sentence, which really should have been far more embellished. And so I'm just trying to say here,
happy to drop the policy, but you're saying that so the policy currently says that if you want an agenda item, talk to your board president and or the fire chief. And you're saying you wanted to say what instead of that?
for one thing, it should, in my opinion, be mandated. Any director who wants something on the meeting should be able to put it on the agenda. Because if you're on the private board and it comes time for new business, you just speak up, period. You don't have to give any notice, but this is a public board, we need to give notice. Now, of course, it is anticipated that would be appropriate to the business of the district. And then
We just have to. I
come down with
don't
the
know if
wording
you can
that would be
mandate,
there.
I don't know if you can mandate, but if you can, then that's up to the
Or
board.
something that perhaps is a lot more strong than what it is now. And of course, that there be definite response, like 48 hours to any request for an item to be placed on the agenda, as opposed to waiting 3 weeks and having a surprise. There has to be a feedback loop in any communications. And what I found in the district policy manual, as I stated 2 of them here, and these were the strongest in those directions. It's not really something that has the what I refer to as the force that a director should be able to acquire.
So I'll ask our attorney, can a board member require an item be placed on the agenda? Is that what you're asking?
You certainly, that could be part of the discussion. All I'm asking for is that this be placed on the agenda, and that it be discussed, and hopefully we can come up with a policy that will avoid what my current experience has been. Part of a team.
Absolutely. I'm
So, we have to figure out ways in which to be able to work together and
I think I'd want a consensus of the board. You're asking us to provide work. But it's coming from one board then. And it's not, I'm not saying it's a bad idea or a good idea, I'm just saying that you're requesting work output.
what kind of work output are you referring to?
You want it to be a policy that mandates that a board member can put anything on an agenda.
Well, the directors should come up during the discussion with the wording and not burden the staff.
But you just want to discuss, time to discuss it.
I think we need to have something in the policy manual that is clear, concise.
But you're not expecting to see a policy, a draft policy, you just want to discuss whether there should be a policy.
I'm hoping that it will lead to a draft policy. I mean, part of the idea of having something on the agenda is to give all the directors ample time, including the public, to agitate on the matter, maybe come up with some suggestions. And so when it comes time to meet, it's like, well, hey, how about this? How about that? As opposed to something
Yeah, I think I
out of the
understand,
blue.
I think I understand what you're saying.
And I would say this is very fundamental. As a director, we should be able to bring up items of business without having to go through to access a gatekeeping process.
Thank you.
And I now return the floor.
Any other director comments?
Yeah,
Jim
I'm kind of confused here because isn't that what we're doing right now?
is.
We're discussing for future meeting, so if a director, any director wanted something brought up, we bring it up under director's comments for the next. Meeting. Yeah, I mean, please help me here.
Yes,
I'm totally lost. I thought that's exactly what we're doing, that if say a director said, I wanted to exercise spring from now on, then somebody could say, well, let's make a motion to put that on next agenda. And then somebody seconded it, then it goes on next agenda. I thought that's exactly what you're asking us for, when you're asking for director's comments.
I don't know that you can't bring up an action item that the public hasn't been notified about.
But you can ask for it to be on the
Yeah,
agenda.
you can actually be on the agenda, and then next month, that way you get a month to think about it.
Absolutely.
And all the directors have a month to ponder it, and, whatever we come up with, when we meet again the next month, we, rediscuss and give our opinions on it.
Okay.
I mean, maybe I'm lost.
No,
I thought that's what we're doing.
You're absolutely correct.
I do have a question. As
Okay.
directors, can we write a policy? That's something we can do,
You have three areas: policy, planning, and evaluation of the fire chief.
but we wouldn't write the policy, the lawyer would write the policy.
Well, we would write it down. We would put it into the correct template, but you could direct the intent of the policy. Sure. You would approve the policy.
That's where I think that there is value having us go through formal training. Because if we're unclear and everybody has their own opinion and their own perception, that doesn't mean it's factual and the truth. So, I would prefer to reach out to people who have been doing this for a while, who could give us sound information and be able to help us out. So that way we can find some common grounds.
Great. Yep.
And that's where I think it's probably beneficial that this is a retreat item. So that way it can be looked into a little bit and see if it's legal, not legal, and we have people that support us in this. So we need to get them involved versus just making a decision because somebody says it's a great decision. I just like to be informed and know of that. So, so you said you informed the president?
In both cases.
So I haven't received an email from you. You emailed, but I am the president of the SAUSLA, so I'm just,
Well, I have record of emails.
well, I'm sure you have recorded emails, but I'm looking at the ones that I've received and my name's not been on them. And I would be somebody you would directly report to and be willing to work with.
And I have. So we may have to find out why you're not getting the emails, because they're coming through the system and the address which is provided by the staff.
Just saying.
Contact.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
All right. What else? I mean, we can go down the road and we don't have to do it right this second.
We shouldn't be doing it right this second.
Right, so, I say let's put it to the retreat. We need some surveys, we need some more information, we need education. And I think that those that are going up to the Seaside Conference we're gonna find value in that stuff too, so. We're not made out of the womb to be perfect board members, but I believe that everybody has. I'm not gonna get this. So I just look forward to, what's in our future.
I think I agree with the Lord that it would be more appropriate to do it at a retreat, because then we're gonna have an SBAO expert to go over that and to tell us what the norm, the culture of doing those types of policies is, and, rather than calling a lawyer and doing all this stuff, why don't we wait until we do the retreat? We can discuss it with them and together in a more relaxed atmosphere, come up with a mutual agreement.
I think that's great.
Well, in the process, we'd like to start making a list of things that we would like to bring up during the retreat. Because I'm sure that there are other items, I don't have any, but there might be other items. And perhaps even sending this list or to the SEO, say, these are some topic areas that we would like to further delve into.
I think the Survey Monkey, I think getting that poll would pull most of that information that each one of us has felt or need to bring up. And I think that if it's done that way, it's anonymous and people can get their thoughts out there, because some people are maybe not as, you know, forthcoming. And so I think it's an opportunity to give everybody an equal share at being part of this team. All right.
The other director.
Yeah, I do. The fire chief was grateful enough to send to Cindy and I requested information from you months back about ways to recruitment and retention, so we're not losing good people to other agencies. And the chief was able to provide Cindy and I some pretty good history for us to understand. So the first of the new year, I'd really like to see us sit down to openly, and it could be a study session, all of us discuss ways to make sure that we keep these highly trained, valuable employees and ways of keeping them. Whether it be monetarily, whatever. I would really like to, all of us to open up our minds and do what's right for the men and women of the organization, and that we keep them.
Absolutely. Thanks, sir. Any other comments? We are next.
I have a comment that I'm gonna miss Dina. She did.
Yeah.
I don't know if any, I guess it's just Mike and I know what kind of.
Oh, yeah.
That is out of.
Dina's a miracle worker, so
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yeah, that just really kept telling you you can't leave, and obviously you're not, because you come back one day.
That's as long as we can keep it.
So I just wanna thank you for everything you did, and we just, or you were a godsend to us, yeah.
Thank you.
Should probably stole you from the board.
Yeah.
So I just wanna make sure that you know how much we appreciate you, thank you. And welcome, Trish.
Get some shoes to fill.
There, next, board meeting is Thursday, November 16th. It's not the 4th, it's the third Thursday. And there won't be any financial, because it won't be ready by then. So, don't be surprised if you don't see that.
Oh, they only do all those resolutions when we're unable to.
Okay, meeting is adjourned, and station feasibility meeting director, Felicia Stanton, Russell Webb, will be meeting shortly after a couple minute break. Stop the recording.